Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about overcoming adversity in the gym and with your training when you're fitness, when you're not in a perfect set of life circumstances. So let me put on my +5 out of weaponsmithing, work on skilling up my crafting a little bit, and let's talk about this. Alright, you know, people always love to see these success stories of people who overcome adversity, and they really don't think these things through. It's just like I had a few people come and say, hey, wow, that's amazing, when they found out that I'm not just necessarily a regular guy in good health who started working out again. Or a lot of people think that I've been training for 20 or 25 years straight, until I tell them, no, I spent a year in bed sick and I don't medically have a sense of balance. My doctors had told me I'd never train again. I went on after over 3 years of not training, went ahead and competed in powerlifting again, got invited to WPC Worlds, and I published all the invites and everything. It's all public record. People can deny it all they want, but it's there. It's undeniable. So, you've got that, and some people said, wow, that's amazing. I don't think it's that amazing. And that should be the thing that shocks people. It's not that I did it maybe, but that it's not a big deal. And do you know why I was able to do it? Because I don't think it's a big deal. That's the point. That's the point. When you see some sort of adversity standing in your way as a big deal, that's when you're going to fail. The best way to overcome adversity is to not think it's a big deal. Say, okay, it's a problem, but I'm going to work around it. I'm going to work around it. Same thing. I mean, mine is somewhat extreme, but I can think of an even more extreme example that even I would look at and go, damn, bro. There's a guy out there now, and I've seen him all over the internet. I'm not sure. I think some people are calling him the one-leg monster. I think the guy lost his leg in Iraq, and I mean, he's like amputated down at the thigh, you know, so he has no knee down as far as I could tell on one of his legs. Guy's deadlifting 400 pounds, squatting 3 plates with one leg, doing it with one leg. And I'll look at that and go, whoa, that's pretty impressive. But then I step back and go, you think he sees it that way? I bet you he doesn't. Because when I looked at my own stuff, a lot of people think that, oh wow, how'd you go and do that? It's like, I went in and did what I was capable of doing. I had a weakness and I worked around it. You adapt, you overcome. It's not that big of a deal. You know what? I'm sitting here realizing when I looked at him, his attitude's probably the same that mine is. He doesn't think it's a big deal. He said, okay, I'm missing a leg. All right, I've got a little less muscle to lift with. Maybe I won't be able to squat as much with one leg. Maybe I can't deadlift as much as one leg, but I want to be strong. I want to be strong. I want to train again. I'm going to go in and use what I have. I've got a good leg. I got one good leg. That's enough. If I got a leg, I can squat. I mean, I got this fake one on the other side. I mean, it'll at least support me, and I'll lift with the other one. I got a good leg. What's the problem? That's probably the attitude he took. It probably really is. I bet you he doesn't even think it's a big deal. He's like, what do you mean? I just go to the gym and I lift weights. So what? I'm missing a leg. I got to lift a little less than someone with my muscle, you know, and my good leg would be able to do if they had 2 legs. But what's the problem, bro? You go in and lift. I guarantee you that's his attitude. And you know what? It works. See, because that's the thing. It's easy to look at these guys who are out here achieving success, who have good genetics, maybe a little bit of drugs. Look how many guys on YouTube right now, honestly, their training methods aren't even sometimes that good. They don't really always know what they're doing, yet they're vastly successful because they're genetically gifted. They're willing to put in a little work. They use a little bit of drugs, in some cases a lot of drugs. Of course, it seems easy for them. And then other people say, well, I can't do that. I've got this problem. I've got a broken ankle that kind of limits my range of motion and my left leg. And I'm like, well, this other dude's squatting with only one leg. If he can squat with only one leg, I promise you, you can learn to work around squatting with a bad ankle. Because this guy's doing it with a whole leg gone. All right, you at least got most of your leg works. Okay, maybe you have some mobility issues with your bad ankle. Work around what you've got. Find a way to do it. Or you're saying, well, I'm too weak, I'm starting out too weak, or I've got a heart condition, I have to start slow, I've got this injury, I've got that injury, I'm starting so weak and so fat. Well, get up and do something. Do what you can do. People sit around focusing on what they can't do, and if you're going to sit around and focus on what you can't do and you're not capable of doing, and let that hold you back, you're never going to achieve what you actually are capable of doing. And again, the same thing. I mean, I had to go through this stuff. I went from having over a 600-pound squat in my 20s, all right, well over a 400-pound bench for reps in my 20s, to when I turned 30, I got really sick. I got really sick. And I was still decently strong when I got sick. Spending a bunch of time in bed, coming back, gaining 100 pounds of fat, losing all my strength. I couldn't do shit. I couldn't walk because I still had a medical issue with no balance and everything else. I had to walk with a cane when I learned to walk again, but I realized something. I could walk with a cane. You know what? If you can get up and walk with a cane, or you can pedal on a stationary bike, that'll burn calories. That will burn fat if you're willing to get up and do enough of it. I walked with a cane. Put on audiobooks and an MP3 player and wobbled out there with my cane and walked as far as I could. And at first it wasn't very far. You know what? I couldn't do a squat. I couldn't squat my own body weight because I was weak and fat. Now, you guys have seen me squat over 500 pounds on camera before, raw, with no wraps, no sleeves. I've done it. But that's after all that. But you know what? I couldn't squat my body when I started again. But you know what I could do? I could take my fat ass and I could hold on to the back of a chair and squat down and help pull myself up. I got up and did that one day and I was able to get a whole rep in. Next day I got 3 reps while holding on to the back of the chair. Eventually I got to where I could do 10 reps, then 20 reps while holding my fat ass onto the back of a chair because I couldn't even do a squat like this, a Superman squat with my body weight. Couldn't do it. When I got to 20 holding onto the back of a chair, I eventually got to where I could squat my own fat ass without holding on to anything. You combine that with hobbling around the block a few times a day with a cane, guess what happened? My fat ass got less fat. That's what happened. And you jump forward to squatting 508 on camera. More than once, by the way. Done it more than once on camera. Squatting 508, 230 kilos. From that to that, by doing what I could do, I did what I was capable of doing. But you know what? If you do what you can do, you've got all these limitations in place, and you say, okay, here's what I can do. Maybe I'm missing an arm. Maybe I'm missing a leg. What can I do? Do the best of what you can with what you've got. If you do that, you will eventually become the best version of yourself. You'll find out what you're really capable of if you step back and go, okay, here's what I can do. Maybe I can't do this, but I'm not going to worry about it. So I can't do it, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to do what I can. Or, what can I do with what I've got now to eventually be able to do what I can't do? Because I'll tell you right now, I couldn't squat my body. If I had to just say, well, I can't squat my body, I'm done, I would have hit a 500 plus pound squat a few years down the road again, would I? My fat ass would still be sitting on the couch. That's what would happen. But I realized, well, okay, I can't squat my body, but I can squat it by holding on to the back of a chair. Went from that to a few years of busting my ass to a 500 pound squat. Now you think this guy with one leg, you think he started out deadlifting 400 pounds? Again? You think that's where he started and came back and they stitched him back up and he started pulling again? Or do you think he probably started with a plate on each side and had to deal with pain in his leg, probably the prosthetic pushing into his leg and hurting and going, shit, this hurts, this sucks. But at least I can do it. You think he stood around worrying about the fact of what he couldn't do? Hell, the same thing I saw one a while back. A guy ran the Boston Marathon with one leg. Dude missing a leg running the Boston Marathon. The guy was relatively jacked too. Ran that marathon with one leg. You know how he did that? He probably had to start running again real slow. And I'm sure it involved falling down a few times. Learning to run again with one leg. I'm sure that guy fell down a few times. Got back up. probably ran a little more. So here's the thing. I'm not going to use this excuse of, you know, oh, look what they're doing. What's your excuse? Because we don't need to go there. You need to look at that and say, okay, if these people found a way to overcome their adversity, I found a way to overcome my unique adversities. These guys found a way to overcome their unique adversities. All right, so you've got an injury. So you've got an illness. So you're 150 pounds overweight. Step back and say, what can I do? What can I do? And if I can do something, that's better than nothing. And if I can do something a little more next time, and a little more next time, this is going to get somewhere. And you might have to chip away at it a long time. And no, you might not be as great as that next guy over, because you know you got to look at some of these things. Am I the best power lifter in the world when I was competing? No, I got invited to Worlds, but you know we're talking bottom half of the field, bottom third of the field. But you know what? That's okay. That's okay. Because not many people get to come back from an illness like that and come in and do what they can do and even get that far. I was happy with that. I didn't have to be the best. You know what? I'll let the best be the best. They earned it. You know, they're healthy. Maybe they got there through their gifts. They haven't had any adversity. Maybe they have a better work ethic than me. Maybe they have better genetics than me. Okay. Let them be the best. I don't have to be the best. I've just got to be the best me that I can be. And that's all you have to do. You know what? So what if someone else out there is doing better than you? So what? Do what you can do. Because I wasn't the best. And you know, same thing. You can take either one of these guys with one leg. Neither one of them are even close to being the best. They're not. If you want to objectively say it, we all look at the guy with the one leg and go, wow, that's amazing. 400-pound deadlift with one leg. A lot of guys with two legs would laugh at that, wouldn't they? I mean, let's be realistic here. That's not even close to competitive. That's not even, if you were to go compare it to the best in the world, it'd be laughable. But we look at it and say, okay, the guy's got one leg. That's what makes it amazing. But you know, the thing is, he just comes in and does it. He just works out. He just works with what he's got. He's just going to be the best version of himself that he can be right now. He doesn't have to be as good as the guys with two legs. You know, and that's the thing. You have to remember. He's still getting respect without a world-class level deadlift, because people see that and go, damn, man, that's pretty hardcore. That guy's doing that with one leg. Because people understand that he's not perfect, that he might have limitations these champions don't have. And at a certain point, if we can accept that about him, why can't you accept that about yourself and say, okay, maybe I can't be the best. Maybe I won't be great. But I can do a hell of a lot better than I'm doing right now. And if I can do better than I'm doing right now next week, what can I do for a year from now? And then what can I do another year from now? You just keep improving. You work with what you've got. Work around your limitations. Figure out what you can do. And don't worry about what you can't do unless you're making an excuse why you can't do it and there's a workaround. Then you need to worry about it. If it's unobtainable, then don't worry about it. But maybe it's not even as unattainable as you think it is. Maybe you just have to find the right workaround and just do it. Alright guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.